Okay, recording has begun.
Okay. Right, like to, I'd like to call the meeting of the Germantown Central School District Board of Education to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Be aware this meeting will be recorded. I should probably say that first. All right, need a motion to amend the agenda to include under personnel L. You got two there? Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Before we start, I would like to make one acknowledgement. I did say that. I still would like to make one acknowledgement. All right, this is for you, Mrs. Brown. The Germantown Central School District Resolution of Appreciation upon retirement of Susan Brown from 2005 to 2020. Whereas Susan Brown has served the Germantown School District faithfully and effectively for 15 years during the period of March 15th, 2005 through August 31st, 2013, serving as elementary principal. And during the period of September 1st, 2013 through October 31st, 2020, serving as superintendent of schools. I should say November 6th, but we'll fix that.
I never let them in.
We'll rewind.
I'm too old for this. Okay, here they come. We're starting over.
It's okay. All right. So should we call do everything again, or
I think we should.
okay. Okay. So I would like to call the regular meeting of the Germantown Central School District Board of Education to order. Please stand for the pledge. Please note this meeting is being recorded. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. It's like deja vu. Okay. I need a motion to amend the agenda to include item L under personnel. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried. All right, I'd like to add an acknowledgement for Mrs. Brown. Okay. Germantown Central School District Resolution of Appreciation upon retirement of Susan Brown, 2005 to 2020. Whereas Susan Brown has served the Germantown Central School District faithfully and effectively for 15 years during the period of March 15th, 2005 through August 31st, 2013, serving as elementary principal during the period of September 1st, 2013 through October 31st, 2020, serving as superintendent of schools. Whereas Susan Brown has exemplified the highest ideals of dedication, character, and service by her commitment to the school district, treating everyone with dignity, courtesy, and kindness. Whereas Susan Brown demonstrated to faculty, staff, parents, our community, and the Board of Education that she is an admired member of the Germantown Central School District and that she possesses a deep pride for all the students who attended during her tenure here. Whereas Susan Brown has blessed our district with her professionalism, work ethic, and willingness and enthusiasm to help at any moment. Whereas Susan Brown has served as an advisor to many who came to know her, has been forthright in dealing with the public, enriched the lives of our students, has accepted responsibility without reservation, and has been helpful to all who came in contact with her. And whereas on this day, the Germantown Central School District commends Susan Brown with gratitude from the bottom of our hearts for all that she has given to our children and the school that she loves. Therefore be it resolved that this resolution signed by the that the President of the Board of Education be recorded in the permanent minutes of the Board of Education on October 14th, 2020, as recognition of our appreciation of Susan Brown's 15 years of service to the Germantown Central School District. Thank you. Congratulations. Ms. Anderson? Yes, and Mrs. Anderson would like to add something.
Susan Brown began her love for educating children almost 40 years ago. She received her bachelor's degree in elementary education from SUNY Oneonta and her master's degree in computers and education and her educational administrative certificate from SUNY New Paltz. She was a computer science instructor at Stratford School in Albany in the early years and then became an elementary computer teacher for the Hudson City School District and then assistant principal at the Hudson Middle School. Germantown was lucky enough to hire Sue a few years later as our elementary principal. During her time as elementary principal, Sue introduced many new programs to the district, as well as being our technology whiz and expert in creating spreadsheets for our data analysis. Sue also, more importantly, gained the respect of her faculty, staff, students, and the Germantown community very quickly. She has carried all these wonderful aspects into her role as superintendent of schools. Sue has excellent management, communication, and organizational skills. Sue's amazing work ethic and the example she sets for all influences others to do their best always. Sue has always been willing to listen, whether you are a student, faculty member, or parent. When I think of her work ethic, it is hard to explain to others the dedication and the countless hours she spends on a daily basis making sure the Germantown Clipper ship is always safely sailing to success. Sue truly loves Germantown Central School, and it will be hard to imagine the building without her in it as our leader and our mentor. But she too deserves to retire and begin the next journey of her life with her family. Sue, I can't thank you enough for the wonderful boss you have been to me personally, and also for caring so much about the education our children are receiving every day at this wonderful place we call our second home. My very best to you always.
Thank you, everybody, for all your kind words, but I would like to say that it has been an absolute honor and pleasure to serve the Germantown School District community, and you're not getting rid of me. I have 5 grandbabies, all living in this district, and some grandnieces and grandnephews, and I will be at every event, so I'll see you there.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right, let's go on. Approve consent agenda items as listed. Any motion? All right, Heather. Any second?
Second.
All right, Tom. Any discussion?
I have one question.
Yes.
Will we get an award plaque from Utica again like we did the last time? We did.
We just received the award plaque from Utica for having submitted the insurance safety plan once again, yes.
Anything else? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried. All right, financial action items. Adopt the following resolution. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the following change order in connection with the 2015 capital project as presented to the board at this meeting. Change order number EC-005 to the site construction contract with DLC Electric LLC for the amount of $18,465.39 to be added to the contract with DLC Electric LLC. Be it further resolved that the board hereby authorizes the board president to sign the above change order on behalf of the district. A copy of the change order will be incorporated by reference within the minutes of this meeting. I need a motion?
I'll make it. Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
I'm sorry, I'm just curious.
Wait. Please.
This is on the capital project, the electric folks. Considering what happened today, do we know any results about who was responsible for today?
Yeah.
So as of today, we did do an investigation to determine the cause of what happened today. We did think at the beginning that it was related to the capital project, and the executive committee will hear that report tomorrow, but it appears it was an existing error, an existing problem within the old part of the building. So it was not, it is very indirectly connected to the project, but was not caused by the capital project.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried. All right, personnel action item, adopt the following resolution. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Penny Canulius to a general aid position at $12.63 per hour, 6.5 hours per day for 195 days per year, which equals an annualized salary of $16,008.53 prorated, effective October 15th, 2020. All right, need a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Adopt the following resolution. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Brenda Seymour to a general aid position at $12.63 per hour, 6.5 hours per day for 195 days a year, which equals an annualized salary of $16,008.53 prorated, effective October 19th, 2020.
I'll make that motion.
Why is the date different? She just can't. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried. All right, superintendent.
Prior to reading this action item, I asked if I may read a recommendation to the Board of Education.
Yes.
Thank you. This is my 10-year recommendation for Yvonne M. Waters, dated today, October 14th, 2020. Mrs. Waters first served the Germantown Central School District during the 2013-14 school year as a part-time director of special education through a BOCES COSA. In 2016, Mrs. Waters returned to Germantown as our full-time Director of Special Education and Pupil Personnel Services. Yvonne is the chairperson for the committees on special education and preschool special education, as well as the Section 504 committee. She is the district's compliance officer for the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, and the Section 504 Rehabilitation Act, all of which ensure that students with disabilities receive free, appropriate public education. In addition, Mrs. Waters is the compliance officer for Titles 6, 7, and 9. Mrs. Waters supervises the English Language Learner Program here at GCS and works closely with the Regional Bilingual Education Resource Network to ensure that our students receive appropriate instruction as required by the New York State Education Department. Yvonne is also our homeless coordinator, and works to guarantee that students with this hardship are enrolled and attending school. As a collaborative member of the GCS leadership team, Mrs. Waters works each year to design and implement a rigorous and appropriate program for all students at GCS. Yvonne supervises, excuse me a minute, I had to let someone in. Yvonne supervises all of the district's special education teachers, English as a second language teachers, related service providers, health office personnel, her secretary, Rhonda, and many of the teaching assistants and general aides. Mrs. Waters also coordinates and monitors students who are placed in programs outside of GCS. She is responsible for all state and federal reporting, including accurate financial reporting to ensure the district receives appropriate anticipated revenues. Mrs. Waters has co-chaired the Wellness Committee for several years, tasked with overseeing the wellness plan and implementation of wellness initiatives, namely the very popular Student Wellness Days. Yvonne chaired the Transition and CDOS Committee, which was responsible for the development and implementation of new regulations and programs initiated to provide students with work-based experiences throughout their pathway to graduation. In 2019, Mrs. Waters created the Culturally Responsive Schools Committee to focus improvement efforts on a pedagogy that recognizes the importance of including students' cultural references in all aspects of learning. Mrs. Yvonne Waters has served the Germantown Central School District community for the past 4 years as the Director of Special Education and Pupil Personnel Services, and I am pleased to recommend her to the Board of Education to receive tenure. Action item A, adopt the following resolution. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby confers tenure upon Yvonne Waters in the Director of Pupil Personnel Services and Special Education tenure area effective October 15th, 2020.
Need a motion? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Congratulations, Yvonne.
She is on.
Yay.
There she is waving at us. Item B.
Item B, discuss and approve the use of the Town of Germantown's trailer located on Palatine Park Road for storage of Germantown Central School District furniture and classroom items.
Okay. Do we need a motion for that? Okay, we need a motion?
No shot.
Hold on, yet. We need a motion first. Any, need a second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion? No charge.
There was a question about the charge. There is no charge, and the town board and Germantown's Board of Education had talked about this briefly at another point in time. Due to COVID-19 and the reorganizing of all of our classrooms, we have a lot of extra furniture. It's not extra. Hopefully we'll get to use it again someday. Furniture that we needed to store somewhere. The town of Germantown has graciously allowed us to store these items in the trailer, but they would like to have a letter from the Board of Education signed by Tammy, if you approve this, eliminating their risk of liability for the items in the trailer.
Sounds reasonable.
What happens if we have to replace it all? I mean, is the trailer locked? I'm assuming.
Water's not leaking, right?
So our Rich Jennings, who is one of our maintenance workers here, is very familiar with the trailer. Jim Palmieri went over and took a look at it. It is not in great shape. The town is not using it presently. In fact, I believe they were considering getting rid of it, but most of it is waterproof. And the part of it that's waterproof is the part where we're storing some furniture in. It is primarily a lot of tables. We just do not have room to store it here. And our maintenance group and building and grounds, Jim Palmieri, have determined that it is an appropriate location for storage. And we will see to it that it is locked.
We have a list of it, and did we notify our insurance company to carry that as a rider?
So the question is, can we have a list, I believe, of the items stored there and a notification to our insurance company to pay for a rider, to take a rider out on these items? I can check into that.
And you could just, like, on a semi-regular basis, just go in there and just check it out, right? Make sure that the roof hasn't collapsed.
The other comment is that one of our folks go over and check it periodically to ensure the trailer's still intact.
I mean, they are just tables, but
This is really helping us out because otherwise half of the high school gym, instead of having gym class, will have tables.
storage. Yeah.
Literally half of the high school gym.
All right, is there anything else?
I mean, as long as it's dry, that's the main thing, you know, they want water power.
There's a concern about it being dry, and we have checked it and determined that that is true.
Jim says it's all right, it's all right.
Jim says it's okay.
Okay. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Okay. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? I think that's just for us to read. Okay. I would prefer to read it before I had any discussion on it.
So at this point in time, the board did vote to not have a public comment period. And that is why it's not taking place. Governor Cuomo has allowed us to continue that process. And I think it ends at the end of October. He has been renewing it monthly. At this point in time, I think it does end in the end of October, but that is about the public meetings law and you allowing the public to be here. The board chose to no longer have a public comment period, really separate from the governor's proclamation. No Board of Education is required to have a public comment period. If this board chooses to put that back in place, it would just take a resolution for you to do so.
Okay. All in favor of adjourning? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried. All right, thanks, everybody.
And I don't know if I'll make the next meeting, John's getting me replacement.
Still on
before
recording.
that.
Okay, it's,
This one.
yeah, it'll be virtual anyway. Oh, the audit.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to make it all the